things I wanted to touch on was
No, but just touch
Africa and...
Alright. So so touch a little bit about the just a little bit about African Liberation Day, and he touched a little bit about the people who come over and so. But who are the people who really influence you? There's so many, I suppose, like Al Sharpton and all them around there. Yeah.
Well, I would say my influences when I came into the organisation. Obviously, I remember the first book actually. When I looked at the case, the first book I actually took out and read was the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's the first book I would say I read. And after reading Malcolm, it's like I then graduated. I put the word graduated onto Garvey. And after reading Garvey, it's like there's so much opens to you. Because it takes it everywhere. It takes it everywhere. And by reading Garvey, I discovered people like Blyden, Edward Will Blyden. I discovered people like Fanon, Frantz Fanon, Amy Césaire. And then it took me, by reading Amy Césaire, it took me into the Francophone, so-called Francophone part of Africa when they started to come across people like Cheikh Anta Diop. They started to come across people like Leopold Senghor, you know, from that sphere. And then obviously once you're in Africa, you're going to come across Amilcar Cabral and Patrice Lumumba and Sakatori and so forth. So at that time, like I'm saying, my world was opening and I became really and truly what you call an activist. An activist. I remember coming down to London, standing outside, I think it was Trafalgar Square, in some meeting with a megaphone in the hand, and really, and that was it. I was totally committed. So through the organisation, it gave me an opportunity, and the beauty with the Pan-African Congress movement and African Caribbean Civil Organization was, it's not a case that here's a bit of paper, you sign, you're a member. No. But the African Caribbean Civil Organization, once they said, you're interested in being a member, I said, before you sign up, you have to go under 2 years of training.
What makes sense,
2 years of intensive tutoring before you can call, and at the end of it, you're tested. You know, to call yourself a member. With the PSCM, it was 6 months intensive training before I could call myself a member of the PSCM. So you see, once you pass through that, you felt equipped to take on the world. You know, you could go and do anything anyway. So through that, and at the same time, we had the Marcus Garvey Foundation, and through the Marcus Garvey Foundation, it took members into Ethiopia, it took members all over Africa, all over the Caribbean, because that was a humanitarian wing. So when something happened, we could rally people and say, look, we need, and then get people there as well. And then, in fact, it was via the Marcus Garvey Foundation that I actually first went to Africa. Because basically we had an office down in Acre Lane in Brixton.
Okay then.
Yeah, we had an office, Ventura House, that was the same place where the Jamaican Gleaner was based.
Okay then.
We had an office in that building. And through that, we started to develop projects. We developed several projects to do in Africa. We've done projects in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Gambia, Senegal, Niger, quite a few African countries. And it was through that we had a thing in the Gambia to go and do. So while we was getting ready to do it in the Gambia, we actually bumped into somebody down in London. And they say, look, if you're going to the Gambia, you should go into the Senegal. I said, well, we don't speak French, so we were lost in the Senegal. And then he said, look, I want to introduce you to somebody. And he went and introduced us to those Senegalese guys. I don't know if you remember one of them, Bass.
Yeah, we know Bass.
Yeah, you remember Bass.
Bass and Nigel. Them close.
It was actually Nigel that persuaded us to go and talk to Bass.
Everything you talk about me
because
know, man.
At the time, you know, they used to run a place in Boston Lane.
Yeah, man. But the Pamela's wine bar.
Besides, right, that's it. You know.
You know, man. We know.
So through that, we met Bass, and Bass said, fine.
Yeah.
If you're come into the Senegal. So I went to the Gambia, we spent a few days, we went over in Senegal, which they meet us, host us, showed us around, and I'm telling you, yes, first time in Africa. I remember, you know, it's like, I don't even remember the picture of the Pope when he used to reset the place and go and kiss the ground. When I plane door open and I step off the plane, jeez, It's like I'm in a different world. Like I said, it's like I've arrived. You know, when people say they're dead and gone to heaven, that was that experience. I couldn't remember. I'm just thinking, I'm in Africa. That link that's been broken so long, it's back together. I mean, and you know, it took me about 2 or 3 days for it to sink in. I'm in Africa. So when I went into the Gambia, but the Gambia reminded me a lot of the Caribbean.
So people say
the way it's set up and the way the people. When I went into the Senegal now, it's a different dynamic. Much more business-like, much more. And then through the language thing as well, half the time you're wondering what go on and what I was saying and everything. But I found it fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And then while I was there, it's funny, you know, because it was just by luck. We were supposed to leave on a Thursday, but by the time we get up and take with time and do that, we missed the ferry connection.
Oh, the ferry connection.
Yeah, but we had to cross the Gambia River. So they say it's too late now, so they got the extra day. So we said, what are we going to do with this day? I said, I keep hearing about this place called Gorée Island. I can use it there and go there. I said, yes. So we went to this place called Gorée Island. Basically what Gorée Island is a small island just off the coast of Dakar, Senegal, Senegal capital, which was a holding port for the slaves. When they take the slaves off the mainland, it's to bring them to Gorée Island, process them, hold them, and ship them from there.
Yeah, all right. So it's something you hear about from time, yeah?
Oh, yeah. You hear about it. So we went there, and it's actually now what you call one of them UNESCO listed preservation site because it's so historically important. So went to Gorée Island, man. Had the tour coming back, and in fact, why this is so sweet and relevant, that was where I met my future wife.
Yeah, but we know.
I actually met her on the ferry coming back from Gorée Island.
Oh, even on the ferry coming back.
And the ferry coming back, we started talking.
You still got work.
Just exchange quickly. She always give me a card. Never thought nothing about it. And later in years to come, that's how it started. So that's why Senegal has special memory
for you.
Know, special memory for me. But it was fascinating. But before I went to Senegal, it was actually me, same name I mentioned, Tagel, you know, Brother Umajuak, Maziko. My brother Kent. The four of us actually set up, was doing little business. Brother Kent. And we was actually working in Tanzania. So we were sending over things to Tanzania and bringing things back.
Because Steve used to go there all the time.
That was his side of Africa. My side was the west. His side was the east. So we was doing a lot of work in Tanzania, you know. And then, you know, and all thanks to the organization. All thanks to this organization. So, bringing it more up to date, like I'm saying, the Pan-African Congress movement now is an organization that's still going. It's still going strong. You remember one time the London branch was the biggest. Because at the time in London, you remember we were through West Green Road. West Green Road, and we've been doing a lot of things. One of the things it prided itself on is African Liberation Day, that since it started African Liberation Day in 1975, it's never missed a year. So this year is the 41st year of African Liberation Day. In fact, for the 40th anniversary, we had a big gig last year. We brought over Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, and attendance was fantastic environment. This year, for everybody listening, we're bringing over Zaza Ali. And she's an up-and-coming sister in the States. You know, if anybody knows Professor Griff, she'll be around that kind of circles.
Because she's got quite a few stuff on YouTube.
She's got a lot of stuff on YouTube. Just type in Zaza Ali. You see a lot of stuff. On YouTube.
Okay then. So in terms of we are today, because I know you're still politically involved, and I know you're doing some stuff. I used to work Pepper Card's place at the Martin Centre, right? Just let people know exactly what's taking place there.
Okay, the quick history about the Martin Centre. Martin Centre basically came around when Pepper Kai, which is a stalwart in the community, has been around for many years. In fact, I would say the Pan-African Congress movement, he was one of the founder members. So was Brother Beanie. So was Brother Cesar Gotsmore.
Cesar Gotsmore as well?
Yeah, Cesar Gotsmore was one of the founding members. There's a brother called Berenge from Nottingham. He now resides in Africa. He's another family. There's Sister Adassa. There's Sister Miami from Wolverhampton.
Okay then.
There's Brother Tenny, who now resides in Florida.
Who's the tall big brother
USA.
there? If I'm not know. What's his name? Arnold.
Yeah, Brother Kwame.
Kwame name.
Yeah,
Okay.
him, Kwame now. Yeah, all those guys.
It was
great thanks to them because they started the whole thing.
Foundation.
And that actually came out of the 6th Pan-African Congress
Okay then.
in Dar es Salaam in 1974. It was called the Pan-African Committee up until 1977 when it became the Pan-African Congress movement. And since then, a lot of those guys are still involved, they're still around.
You know something, we're glad to have this pan record now, because it's some history information. You know?
And they're still around. Like I said, when I came on board, I'm glad they started because it's something I just came into ready
yeah.
and I could just
Continue
function and develop within it. And the Art Center comes into the picture now that Brother Pepperkai, who for years was based at 25 West Green Road, Head Start Bookshop, actually acquired that place, actually, you know, for his book distribution, because he's actually the largest black book distribution in the whole of Europe, easily.
Yeah, by far,
easily. Right, and then you see, it's quite a sizable building, so we decided to make it more of a community-orientated place, so it became the Art Center. So the whole idea is to have it as a venue where the community can come, the community can use, and it's also the London base of the Pan-African Congress movement.
Okay.
That is based there.
Okay.
And you can see, obviously, the building needed a lot of repairs, So slowly but surely, it's coming and it's taking time.
Looking quite
because just finance, going and everything.
Yeah.
But now that is getting there. It's getting there. The whole idea, because if you look around the community, sadly, what you're seeing, a lot of the buildings and venues that the African community had, they're losing them rapidly. You see the council is pulling buildings back off, cutting funding and so forth. So it's imperative, because one of the motto when I joined the organization, especially the African Caribbean, they had the word self-help. And they've always used that about look to ourselves and helping. That's why I said when they kick off the housing program, that was the whole idea behind it. We used to run a club. They ran a club, which was the means by generating the funds called the Ubuntu Wabantu Club. It's actually Swahili for the Black People's Club. You know, and that was how we managed to generate a lot of the money to start a lot of the projects.
Yeah, because a couple of times I've been down to Birmingham where they go to the 104 Heathrow. And they keep
everybody knows it as 104.
Yeah, 104. Yeah,
everybody knows the 104.
Been to the couple of downs down there.
That's the same place. That's the place. So the whole idea of the Art Center now is just become a beacon in the community where a lot of things can happen. You know, because PSCM is 41 years old. African Caribbean is actually, I think this year it's actually started in 1964. 1964. The African Caribbean Civil Organization is still going.
Okay then.
It's, you know, so over the years they've had many links into different organizations, even into different governments. So when it comes to contacts and link, you name it, we have it in the African world, in the Caribbean world. So it's to have a venue where we can bring through a lot more people, that people in the community can meet them and interact with them, and practice Pan-Africanism in its trueness. You know, because Pan-Africanism basically means whole, African world together.
I just want to jump in here because you mentioned Cecil Cosmos. Quite a few people you mentioned. I like you to, because of time, might have to get through. But mention man like Cecil Cosmo, because I didn't know Cecil was part of the...
Yes, but Cecil Cosmo was actually one of the founding members.
Yeah, but let's about Cosmo and whom is about.
And Cosmo, actually people know him as a historian. You know, for many years he was resident at University of the West Indies in Jamaica, the Mona site, and he's a professor of history.
He was my first teacher because I was going to Head Start as a boy, you know.
And he kicked off the study groups at Head Start every Sunday.
Every Sunday,
It was him that started it off.
You start about history.
And then through Cecil Cosmo, then you had people like Femi Biko came along, and I attended many lectures by that time. Femi Biko was teaching. And then through Femi Biko, the other spin-off, nice spin-off of Femi Biko, as you can see, it's a continuation. We threw up Robin Walker. You see? And on and on and on. And so it goes. So you can see, thanks to movements like this, but you know, and that's why it's so important to keep movements like this alive. Because it's important to have that historical perspective and current, that the link is that we can interact with our brothers and sisters on the continent, in America, in the States, wherever we are. There's a content linking and interacting, because that's where our strength comes from. And in fact, this year ALD, we have reached out even into the South Pacific, because we'll be having Brother Benny Winder from West Papua. We know the trials and tribulations that's happening in West Papua now, with the Indonesians have occupied that territory for years. And
is what's name involved? What's his name? Julie.
Yes.
Juliet's
involved in that movement. So you can see and that's the aim of the Pan-African Congress movement, to reach out and bring people where people can come and interact with them, disseminate information as much as possible, and to get people to know themselves.
In fact, it would be nice to get Julia to do something for her, because she's got a lot of information in that particular that kind of work there. How much time we have here? About 2 minutes, brethren? 3 minutes? Watch out. Give out your email address and contact for people who want to contact each other and want more information about
Well, if you want more information, because the national group, like I say, is the Pan-African Congress Movement, there's an email address, and it's basically panafricancongressmovement@gmail.com. You can also link into us from Facebook, which is facebook.com/PACM2015. We also trend on Twitter, which is twitter.com/PACM_UK. And we also run a YouTube channel. Which you can just go to YouTube, just type in PACM UK, and it will come up. And the beauty about YouTube channel, you get footage going back many years of past events that the PACM has put on.
Say that again, that YouTube character. Say it again. Say it again one more time. YouTube channel.
Yeah, the YouTube channel. You just go to YouTube. You type in PACM UK, all one word.
All the events will come up from the last.
Yeah, and then the site will come up.
The
site will come up, and then from the site you'll be able to see a lot of past events and current events and many things what we're doing. And just to end, it was a great privilege recently to have hosted Julius.
Yeah.
And you can see Julius Memo is now the most fervent guy in South Africa, and if everything goes to plan, you can see he become a future president in South Africa. And when he came, I like what I heard, I must admit.
Okay then. So first we want to give thanks. Give thanks for Jeff to take us bit, but definitely again and again, because we don't done this thing yet. So give thanks. Peace.
Yes, and thanks again, Dougie.
Yeah.